Welcome to the Moon Tribe podcast. I'm Simona, your host. I'm here to inspire heart-led entrepreneurs and conscious leaders to follow their purpose and create a life of freedom, wealth, and magic. Welcome, tribe! In this episode, we're gonna go deeper into exploring how you can use lunar wisdom in your business and in your life. We're gonna look at how you can set your new moon intentions. That's so exciting. First, my question is, are you already setting your intentions with the new moon? If yes, wonderful. And if not, you will learn more about it and how to do it in this episode. So first I want to explain again about how the lunar cycle evolves. So I was sharing a little bit in the last episode that the cycle of the moon lasts 29.5 days. That's why it's called 1 month. So it's roughly 1 month. It begins at the new moon. That's the beginning of the lunar cycle. And at this point, the moon starts becoming visible as this thin slice in the sky. You've probably seen it. It's like the rebirth of the light. And that's the beginning of a new cycle. From then on, the moon is growing in the sky and becoming bigger for 2 weeks. That's called the waxing cycle. After 1 week, we have the first quarter moon, when it's like half full. And then it reaches the peak of the full moon. The full moon is the peak of the cycle, where also often our intentions are coming to fruition, or already before, sometimes as well. And then after the full moon, we have the 2 weeks of the so-called waning cycle. That's when the moon is starting to fade again slowly, going more and more into the darkness. We have the third quarter moon, and then the very last part, the very last week of the cycle, which is really about surrendering and releasing and letting go as the moon goes back into the darkness. Around the dark moon, it's also called balsamic moon. That's really a time to rest and slow down and nourish ourselves before we start fresh again. So once you understand this and once you can work with these different phases in the lunar cycle, it's very helpful if you want to start to manifest with the moon. So for me, this has become a really important part of my personal practice, something that I've been doing every month for a few years already. And it's really working for me and also for my students. And it's a beautiful and magical practice. So I've been also hosting moon cycles for a few years in London, in Amsterdam, online. And I'm guiding people to work with this. So why I believe that this is such a powerful practice, and I even created my community Moon Tribe Circle, where we come together every month and we set our intentions together. Because actually doing it together in a group is even more powerful and also more fun. So I'll share with you today why it's such a powerful practice and what is most important for you in setting your new moon intentions. So for me, the first reason why I believe it's such a powerful practice and I really, really love it is that it helps us to live with intention. And I believe living with intention is very powerful if you consciously want to create your life. Most of us are running on autopilot through our lives, and we are manifesting but unconsciously. So starting to set your new moon intentions will really be a big step in a direction of being very conscious and very clear what you want to create in your life. It's powerful, right? So I really got into this practice a few years ago. I think it was around 2018. And I started studying and attending some workshops with Jasmine Boland. You might have heard of her. She is an astrologer and also the author of the book Moonology. So I was attending some workshops with her in London that were really fun and fascinating, and they got me into this whole idea of working with the moon. It helped me to understand more about the energetics of each phase and how you can combine the moon with astrology, and the two together. It's like really, really exciting to work with. And after these workshops, I started applying it and trying it in my life. And I was amazed how it worked. And I could start to manifest amazing things with ease. And I will talk about this more in the next episode. So soon after, I started to record my own experience. And I was in Bali in 2019. And I actually created my very first online course, an online journey called Manifest with the Moon, where I was teaching about the 8 phases of the moon, the 8 main phases, and combined them also with powerful practices and embodiment. So you can really start to tune into the energy of each phase. I'll pop the link in the show notes if you want to find out more about this course. For me, going back to this idea of living with intention, it really is about having clarity on your desires and on your vision for your life. The thing is, most people don't do this. And we all know it can be easy just to be running and keeping busy and doing all the things, but actually forgetting where you're heading or losing track of the direction you're heading. And life just keeps going and going, and you don't pause to check if you're actually going in the right direction. So that's why, for me, this is a profound practice and a life-changing practice. I've used it to reconnect once a month, to take time, sit down, and become really clear what I want to create. What am I cultivating in the next month? What am I pouring my energy into? And so I believe it's really a powerful practice to give you focus and direction in your life. And then, as I mentioned, the second part, and also when it gets really juicy, is to combine this working with the moon with astrology. And astrology is such a rich subject. Actually, working with the moon originally got me interested to study astrology, which is such a fascinating art and science that you can study for a lifetime or probably multiple lifetimes. But you probably have noticed that each new moon and full moon falls into a different astrological sign. So you might have heard of the new moon in Capricorn coming up now, full moon in Leo, etc., etc. So each new moon, each full moon falls into one of the 12 signs of the zodiac. And also, just to explain, I mostly work with Western astrology, so I know only a little bit about Vedic astrology. I know that some other forms of astrology have a slightly different placement of the signs, but I think the principle is the same. So in astrology, we have the 12 signs of the zodiac. I'm sure you all heard about them. They start with the first one, Aries, and then we have Taurus, we have Gemini, we have Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. And then the cycle starts all over again. So these 12 signs, there's a lot to talk about. I will probably do a completely different episode about it. But each of the signs represents a certain energy, a certain archetype, and also a certain area of your life. So let's see. Each sign represents a certain area of your life. For example, new moon in Cancer. Sign of Cancer is very much connected to your home. So that would be a wonderful time to manifest a new apartment, a new house if you're looking for something. The sign of Libra is the sign of relationships par excellence. So if you want to manifest more love, romance, a new partner, it's the perfect time. Sign of Taurus is a lot about money, abundance, feminine energy. So we can work with this. New moon in Capricorn coming up now in January. It's a really great time to set intentions around your business, around your career, and about living your purpose, which is also what we're going to be looking at in these next weeks. So each month we get to set intentions focusing on another area in our life. And if you're doing this each month, in 12 months, you will be upgrading every area of your life. So I think this is absolutely beautiful. And then you get to go deeper and deeper every year. It never ends, right? So bringing this together with astrology, and then now just a quick, more practical how to set your intentions and what's actually important in setting your intentions. So the first thing I would say is the timing is important. The new moon is really the beginning of the cycle. So you want to set your intentions with the new moon. It's like planting a seed into the earth and then allowing it to grow. And the right timing is after the new moon. So not before, because that's the ending of the cycle. Not so much at the full moon. Sometimes I see something online about setting intentions with the full moon. That's not really the time. You want to do it with the new moon, and ideally within 3 days after the new moon. So they say it's a 3-day window. Then how do you set your intentions? You want to connect it with some kind of practice where you take your quiet time, you create a sacred space, maybe a special ritual, and you want to really calm down and connect to your heart before you tune in into your intentions. Become really open and then write down your intentions. That already starts to make them more real, bring them more into the physical. And also, I believe doing it together is more powerful because the energy is stronger and amplified when we come together. So that's the act of actually setting the intentions. And then afterwards, it's about cultivating the intentions. So you've planted the seeds, And now you want to take time to nourish them and just reconnect to them. So for me, I make that also a daily practice. And if you would like to learn how to set your new moon intentions, you're very welcome to join us in my community, Moon Tribe Circle. We come together once a month online. And I host a new moon circle where I kind of prepare us to get us into the right space for setting intentions. I share about the theme, which is different each month. And I guide you through the exact process that I'm using and that I've been using for years to manifest with the moon. So I would love to see you. I will post it in the show notes if you want to find out more. And maybe see you in one of the next circles. I hope this gave you some beautiful insights and you feel inspired to try it for yourself and to start setting your new moon intentions. I would love to hear from you and how this resonated for you, or if you started manifesting some things. Just drop me a message on Instagram. And meanwhile, please remember to share your magic. Thank you for listening to the Moon Tribe podcast with me, Simona Shimanovic. I'd love to share my free abundance meditation with you. Go to simonashimanovic.com and join the tribe.